Hi everyone. Remember how we've been talking about passing the promise through the Bible? Oh, no football. Anyway, we talked last week about how God passed the promise to Jacob through a dream, and I told you the story wasn't quite over yet. Today, we're going to look a little further into Jacob's story.
Oh, sorry. Do you mind if I graze my sheep here for a while?
No, go ahead. We were just talking about you.
About me?
Yep, I was telling the kids your story.
Wow! Is it a good story?
Of course it is. But you're pretty far from home, aren't you?
Yeah, I come out here because it's quiet. That's the only sound other than us talking.
That's true. It's nice.
Especially because it's so loud at home, with the sound of two wives, and it's all because my father-in-law tricked me.
That's a major bummer, Jacob.
So, who are you?
Oh, sorry. I'm Jason. I teach Sunday school.
Oh, what's Sunday school?
On Sunday mornings, I tell kids about the Bible, the book you're in. We're talking about you again today.
Really?
I was going to remind them how you got here. Do you want to do the honors?
Sure. Do you remember my family? It was me, my brother Esau, my father Isaac, and my mother Rebecca.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, that just happens around here.
Oh. Well, anyway, I tricked Esau into giving me his birthright for a pot of stew, and got my father's blessing. But Esau was really mad.
Grrr.
I thought he was going to kill me.
Are they going to keep doing that? Yes, just roll with it.
Okay. So my mother sent me to her brother's house in Haran. His name's Laban, so that I could find a wife. She said she'd send for me when Esau cooled down, so I went to Haran as fast as I could, and on the way I had the dream. When I arrived in Haran, there were a bunch of shepherds with their sheep, so I asked if any of them knew my uncle Laban. They said that they did, and that his daughter Rachel was coming down with his sheep right then. Then, well...
Are you okay, Jacob?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's okay. I can tell the story for you.
Wait, what?
Yep. So that's when he met Rachel, and he fell in love instantly. He introduced himself as her cousin Jacob. At the same time, word had gotten around that Jacob had arrived in Haran, so Laban came out to meet him and let him stay in his house. There, he met Laban's other daughter, Leah.
Now, hold on.
And maybe tend his flocks. After about a month, Laban told him he wanted to pay him for his work. Jacob said that the pay he wanted most was to marry Rachel. Laban agreed, and they came to terms that after 7 years, Jacob could marry Rachel.
Hey, don't do this to me.
After the 7 years were up, Laban held a great wedding feast. Jacob and his bride celebrated, and everyone was happy. Well, at least until the next morning.
Sheep, get him.
When he removed his wife's bridal veil in the morning, he discovered that Laban had tricked him. It was Leah, Rachel's older sister, under the veil the whole time. Jacob was pretty mad.
Grrr. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not listening.
So he went to Laban and gave him a piece of his mind. He'd worked for 7 years, and he figured he was entitled to what they'd arranged originally. Laban told him that the oldest daughter had to be married first,
which was dumb,
so he could only marry Leah. And if he worked for another 7 years, he could marry Rachel. Jacob really wanted to marry Rachel, so he agreed. After another 7 years, Laban let him marry Rachel.
Don't get me wrong, Leah's a good wife, and she's given me lots of sons. But I love Rachel, and Leah knows it. Sometimes that causes problems. They're always bickering about who's the best wife for me. At least the sheep can only bleat.
Alright, see you later, Jacob. Now that he's gone, let's remember something together. While Jacob's situation isn't likely to happen to any of us, a lot of times we need to ask God to restore us. In Psalm 145:18, it says the Lord is near everyone who prays to him. So remember, God restores families. Jacob's story still isn't quite over, but we're almost there. I'll see you next week for the final chapter. Seriously? No football? Guys? A football anywhere?